Today we're playing an updated version of the Capricious Hellraiser control deck. We started playing it last week and it was very exciting. We only played one league, where we lost to Mill in round one, which was like a nightmare matchup. But then the deck was really firing on all cylinders, and Capricious Hellraiser was I think very exciting in that show. So we just kind of pull up the list that we had, and this is something I like to note too. And this is something I'm always thinking about in my testing. Does the deck feel good despite the fact that it's still kind of untuned, or does the main idea feel good but needs some more tuning? I feel like that was the case with the list here, where I felt like the biggest issue I had in this list was that Unholy Heat was just not a very consistent card to get Delirium on. I was thinking that the presence of Shark Typhoon in the dress down was going to help, but you only have 4 creatures, 4 sorceries. Delirium was very difficult to get on Unholy Heat. So I started to mess around with a few different ideas on how to fix that. And I was thinking that splashing black for Terminate solved a lot of the problems where the splash for Chain to the Rocks wasn't as important. Again, in a lot of these blue-red decks, I think a lot of blue-red decks struggle with both Murktide Regent and Sanctifier and Vec. And so I've been liking just playing with some white sources and playing Chain to the Rocks in the board in a lot of blue-red shells. I was thinking that Terminate would solve a lot of problems while also giving you more answers to Primeval Titan. But the problem is, I just don't think you can play Terminate with 4 Cascade Bluffs and a bunch of these blue sources in your deck. I think it's just, it's just going to be too hard to cast on turn 2. So I was thinking well, let's maybe we just make Unholy Heat a better card, and then we can still have more consistent answers to Titan and get the Delirium more consistently. Be better against Ren and 6, be better against Teferi, and of course the way to do that is to just play Mishra's Bauble. Path sucks. Don't change the rocks so much, but this doesn't get them a land. They play Raugrin on turn 1. They play Raugrin on turn 1. You have your Path to Exile in your hand. You're like, I can cast this at instant speed. I can cast this on their upkeep. Don't play Path. Path sucks so much. So I have a draft of a more, I'm calling it mid-range, but it's really the same list where we're playing Channeler.
What's up? It's me, your friend.
Playing Channeler in this list. We're down a land, down the Fables, down the Spell Snare for Channelers as an enabler. And I think that this maybe opens you up to removal a bit too much. I don't think it necessarily fits too well in the more controlling gameplay. I could be wrong. Channeler's a really broken card. We might play something like this at some point. But I think that just I think that the Heats are now good just by playing 4 Baubles, where you have access to 6. You also have 2 Fables. Nice. You have 6 enchantments, 4 artifacts, 4 sorceries, 4 creatures. Instant lands are pretty free. Delirium's gonna be a lot more consistent, or turn 3, turn 4 consistent. And we're playing Fable over Prismari Command mostly. I think that I had one too many of those I think I would one too many of these 3-drop enablers for Hellraiser, and I think that Fable is probably better than Prismari Command anyways. It's also being able to copy Hellraiser in the late game is pretty crazy. You're gonna see this a lot going forward. By the way, you're gonna see a lot of Emrakul the Aeons Torns in sideboards, as Mill has become much better with the new Jace, and was maybe a little underplayed before, anyways. But this is a nightmare matchup for Mill, or you have a nightmare matchup against Mill. So especially in decks like this that are. We can keep this with the Consider plus double iteration. The former good 11 months. Thank you. Puts on a mold of 6. Have you given any more thoughts about building Burn with Breach in it? I haven't really. I think that the 1 copy of Breach could be okay in Burn. It's good when you have 4 mana and 7 cards in your graveyard and a 1 mana burn spell, and it's not particularly good outside of that scenario. Uh-oh. Easy. Probably okay to get a basic island here. I know we have Hellraiser in our hand, but this could be a pretty slow game, I imagine. Alright, I don't know what we're up against. Could be Murktide. The Taps Demons is weird. They could be baiting me into playing into Spell Pierce, but I think I'm just going to jam the Iteration anyways, especially with Hellraiser in your hand. I think you just, like, usually want to be jamming. Let's go hand bottom. Well, let me hand the Archmage's Charm, actually. I kind of want to be able to get a Raugrin Triome tapped with this Strand. 21 lands could be risky. I think 21 lands is totally fine. It's like, Murktide plays 18 or 19. Most people play 19. It's two more. And like with a higher curve for sure, but I'm not really too worried about it, honestly. With four Bauble, 4 Iteration, 4 Consider, 4 Archmage's Charm, 2 Fable. It's a Typhoon to cycle also. I think you're gonna be able to hit those land drops with enough consistency. Literally what is going on over there though? What are they doing? Yeah, Raugrin Triumphs for sideboard cards. We have 6 sideboard cards in the board, white sideboard cards. Okay, so they're a Grixis deck. Do I even draw 2 here? I think I'm okay to wait. Here. This deck seems kind of stretched with both blue, triple red spells. Do you think that there's anything going on in the mana base that helps solve that problem really well? This has been a really common comment, but is there anything else going on in this mana base that like just kind of solves that problem? Perhaps 4 blue-red filter lands. Okay, I don't think I want to play Bauble first. I think I'd rather maximize the chance of hitting. I guess I shouldn't. I guess I could have not played my land because of Iteration. Yeah, with 4 Cascade Bluffs, I think the mana totally works. I could maybe cycle Typhoon in response to the ETB trigger. Probably better to hold up Counterspell. You're good, Tech. It's just been like a really common comment, so I don't know. Not a big deal. Just not even really bantering. Just talking. All right, let's hit a Typhoon. Hellraiser is just so sick in this. Oh, let's go! Good start to today, huh? Good start to today. We get to make a 0/0 Shark. Rest in peace. I kind of want to sack this now because of Consider Spell Snare. We see Asma White Obliterate. I ended up working on this list and then a Boros Hellraiser deck over the. This happens all the time. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'll just like talk about what I'm gonna work on off stream, and like I almost always work on something other than what like we talked about. Yeah, I like Nihiri a lot too. Yeah, we'll do Blue Steel at some point too. Yeah, I will say, you know, oh yeah, we did it, we cast Typhoon, but all my opponents had 6 turns and all they've done is cast an Iteration. I don't really know what's going on over there. Consider creativity with Hellraiser to control what's in the graveyard for exiling. We've played like a Transmogrify Hellraiser deck. It was solid, but like, you know, I was playing Transmogrify over creativity, so you could play creativity instead. I really people have asked this like nonstop too, like, Spike, have you considered like controlling? Don't let the Hellraiser control you, man. Let's control the Hellraiser. And I just really think that for the most part, this graveyard, like exiling stuff in your yard in response to your Hellraiser trigger is just too many pieces. It's maybe nice if you can like incidentally do that, but for the most part, I'm just like, I think it's too many pieces. Literally, my opponent must be playing like Grixis Control, right? Like, there's no way that their deck is just full of creatures. We had to beat 7 lands in Expressive Iteration. I know, but we also had like a really good draw that game. I'm just gonna bring in the 1-mana counter spells for Heats and then die to Ragavan. Colder 29 months, thank you. Alright, cool hand. Opponent's on that Mold of 5. Playing Inspired Bluff and Grixis Control. Well, I can't imagine that they're Grixis creatures. Because out of they had a million cards in their hand. It has to be like all removal spells, right? Maybe not. I don't want to like fetch Shock in a Steam Vents here. I think I'll just like play this tapped and then scry with Bauble if I don't need a Spell Snare. Playing Abletron RCQ, how do you feel about this versus Titan and Mill? Oh, a bit horrible against Mill. Like disaster mode against Mill. Titan is, I think, unfavorable, but like very play draw dependent. If you win, I think if you win the die roll, it's like close to like slightly favorable. If you lose the die roll, you're pretty unfavored. So not really something I would recommend for that metagame, I guess. We saw Spells Pierce off Bauble. That's true. That's true. A little bit of info, huh? Typhoon is from Ikora, and it was the most. Typhoon was the best card from Ikora. There were no other good cards in that set. Thoughtseize! We got a spell on the stack, y'all. We got a spell on the stack. I know. Honestly, like Typhoon is in that era where everything blurs together because it's like a combination of like COVID melting everybody's brain and they're missing their land drop. It's a combination of like COVID melting everybody's brain and so many crazy powerful cards being released around the same time. Coach 3 months, thank you. When building a sideboard, when is it correct to have a 3 or 4 of a card versus 1 2 of a card? So this is kind of the thing about Modern, and this is something I have a hard time articulating sometimes. But Modern is like just like a really weird format. Modern is a really weird format, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving pieces and questions like this, like, oh, when do you have 1 2 of a card versus 3 or 4 of a card? Is just so hard to articulate because this is just like one of the weirdest formats out there, and there's not really a just like clean answer to that question. Because every deck can be so weird and so different, you know what I mean? I think for the most part, like these kind of heuristics, like 3 or 4 of a card versus 1 2 of a card is not it's not a question that I think you can find like a really meaningful, fulfilling answer to. I've written like a deep dive about selecting sideboard cards in Modern for Channel Fireball. It's pretty old. It's a few years old at this point, but you know, that's a resource for you potentially. Yeah, we have 4 Cascade Bluffs for the whole red, blue, blue thing. It makes it pretty cheesy peasy, lemon squeezy, especially because you know you're just not casting Hellraiser till like turn 5 most of the time. A lot of times in this deck, a lot of times you're going like Hellraiser with Counterspell up, just like the spot, and you know last game. But again, the 4 Cascade Bluffs make me really just not very worried about the mana. Is Hellraiser an upgrade to Snapcaster Arcane Proxy? I think that's a relatively good way to think about it. That's how I think about it in a lot of ways. Just like a bit big and beefy and more mana efficient and cast anything for free. Well, so I hand this. How much potential does like have? Can I see myself taking RC or anything? I mean, I could, but like this is only my 2nd league, so I don't have. And we're playing against like Grixis Control with that's stumbling really hard both games. I've liked the deck a lot so far, and like so far, that's all I can really give you. Is that I've liked it. It's hard to give you a much more detailed answer than that this early into playtesting. But like to like some extent, Hellraiser has just been awesome. Hellraiser has been just awesome in this deck so far. And I know that's not the most descriptive term, but I'm really digging it. Gotta counter this back. Do you think Hellraiser could go browse? I think in prowess that Breach is going to be mostly better than Hellraiser. Mono red Hellraiser. Okay, so we played a mono red Hellraiser deck the other day. Okay, so here's one thing, and I know this is kind of, dude, Shieldred. That's a pretty sick draw. I know this is kind of like, I don't know. I don't think you should play both Breach and Hellraiser in almost any deck unless you're like super duper in graveyard combo. Like you have to be like way more in. You have to be playing like Thought Scour, Consider. You have to be real like like maybe something like Commune with the Gods, because Commune finds both Hellraiser and Breach. Like you have to be really really in on filling your graveyard, and you don't have enough enablers to play 3 Hellraiser, 3 Breach. You need to pick one or the other, and up against a Kihira deck here. I think I would be playing 4 Unholy Heat for sure. Let me go ahead and just post this link in the chat because there's going to be some ideas for you potentially here. Would I register for Modern RCQ? I actually am, I think, playing a Modern RCQ this weekend. I think I'm leaning towards Prowess. I might also play the Sacrifice deck. The thing is, like, I haven't played Sac in a long time, but I have, like, close to an 80% win rate after, like 15 leagues or something. But things are different, so I don't know that I would need to do some playtesting with it. But I've also always wanted to play that deck at a paper tournament, so that's kind of pulling me towards that too. Let's see. One thing is, like, as far as Hellraiser enablers go, I really really liked Light at the Stage. I thought that Light at the Stage was a great enabler for the deck. I thought that the fact that it's a cheap spell to give you a critical mass of cards to later use that critical mass to cast your Hellraiser quickly, or on time at least, and then it's also like a good card to flash back with Hellraiser, kind of similar to Expressive Iteration in this deck. I really liked it, so I think if I was ever playing a mono red Hellraiser deck like this, I would basically always want to have four Light at the Stages, I think, in the mono red versions, which can you kind of replace your Underworld Breaches here. So I think I'd be down, like, cut the Furies, cut the Breaches for 4 Heat, 4 Light at the Stage. Consider the Boom Bust tech. You don't have to be married to it. Although I would also be kind of interested in playing, like, in this version, 4 Blood Moon and like 2 Season Pyromancers. And then you probably need an Answer to Sanctifier and Vec in the sideboard. I don't think I had. Oh yeah, so yeah, what I was doing was, I've been doing this in a lot of like bread decks. I'm doing it in this one too. I'm like just playing a Sacred Foundry, fetch lands, and like Chain to the Rocks. And like mono red decks, blue red decks really struggle in Modern with Sanctifier and Vec and Murktide Region. And Chain to the Rocks is a really good answer against both of those. Can come in against Yawgmoth too. A couple other matchups. Carp 23 months. Thank you. Hellraiser and Phoenix have any space together? Maybe a little bit, yeah. Maybe not. That'd be $5. Okay, let's just go to Steam Vents here. I think Hellraiser could be a good tertiary threat for Pioneer and Phoenix. I think it could, yeah. I think that it probably doesn't have much tension with the Del spells, honestly. It maybe is like a little win more, but I think it would be worth trying. Would I run Chain and Prowess? I have been running Chain and Prowess. I think we trophied with it. We've trophied with Prowess like a decent amount lately. It's hard to remember exactly which 75s trophied. I could pull up the list I had last. I would change a few cards. Change a few cards from what I had. I'm still kind of messing around with, like, I think like the first Grape Shot is good, but maybe just being able to play 4 Sprite Dragon 4 Gut Shot is better. I also really like 4 Breach and Prowess. Oh, I meant to use Lightning Bolt over Unholy Heat. I totally meant to use Lightning Bolt over Unholy Heat. Damn. Sorry, we have so many decks in the Stream Decker. We've been playing so much. I'm trying to find a prowess list. But like, Chain to the Rocks, I think, is also very good in prowess. Also, I think the White Splash is good. It solves a lot of your problems. Chain to the Rocks is, certainly part of that. And I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding it. Chain to the Rocks mostly for Sanctifier and Murktide, but also like good against Yawgmoth. You can bring it in and a couple of other spots. Dude, I've been playing so many decks. Okay, so yeah, I was basically going with Grape Shot. I think the first Grape Shot is good. I don't want to play 2. Okay, this is not the right list. I was playing Chain to the Rocks and Prowess though, or maybe I like said that we should be playing it. No, I'm pretty sure we played like at least one league with it. Whatever, I recommend it. Ooh, Cavern of Souls, huh? When I get hit in Dark Souls, I got hit in Sin's Fortress. I kind of like slightly updated my strat and it got and it wasn't tight. The strat was not tuned. Let's just say that, huh? Should be tuned going forward. Okay, so let's go hands, bottom, exile. So do I cycle this Typhoon here so that when I Hellraiser next turn, I have the greatest chance of casting a Typhoon? Maybe. Also, just hard casting it normally in this matchup could be good. Can boost 15 months, thank you. Yes, Sins is really hard, but like, I don't know. It's not as bad as it's been. All right, let's stop them from getting mana this turn. I'm gonna heat now. Dragon, 2 months, thank you. It's likely they'd have a counter. I guess in what spot we're doing. They go Prowess with the 4 pending main. I don't like Prowess with 4 pending main. I don't think that it's correct. Prismatic Ending is like a totally fine card, but I think like for the most part the white cards really shine in the sideboard. And I also think that like both Portable Hole and Chain to the Rocks are better than Prismatic Ending and Prowess. So it's like I'm a hater, I guess. Yeah, I'll be putting out an updated Prowess list soon. I guess I couldn't find like a super up-to-date one in the Stream Decker. Dude, we're 2 for 2 on Typhoons today. 2 for 2 on Typhoons. Yeah, maybe I could just update it in the Stream Decker real quick and post it in the chat. Or let me see if it's updated in my Magic Online decks. Do I bolt the Solitude now? Probably. Hold on, I'm trying to do too many things at once, really. But I want to get you all this Prowess list, huh? I'm just gonna do an island here to make them think I have Blood Moon in my deck. Ooh, 2/0/0 sharks, you say? Dude, we haven't hardcasted. I guess we hardcast one. I think last time we played this deck. Is yield until end of turn, like F6ing until second slot C2? Yes. Yeah, it's like F6ing, but you can do something on their end step. Okay, that's fine. It's obviously not super ideal. So I read 19 months, thank you. Could just hardcast a dragon, I guess, if we draw one. We still have Kahira. We're obviously, like, we're pretty ahead here. Feels good to be, like, able to go over the top of the Omnath deck as well. For now, at least. Alright, okay, I will find the prowess list. Okay, and then we will update it. Okay, so wait, I do have it updated, or mostly updated. I think right now, I'm like, my main thought is that even though the first Grapeshot is good, I think that being able to play 4 Mutagenic Growths is better, and to do that, I think you really want to play 16 creatures. And I would rather play the 4th Breach before the first Grapeshot. For now, at least. That could change. But I think that this is the main deck. Don't play fast lands, by the way. Just play as many fetch lands as possible. I'm playing 10 fetch lands right now. And then... this still looks pretty good. I might play the 4th chain. Might play the 4th chain over the first portable hole, honestly. Or like the 4th Magus over the first portable hole. Or the 4th Magus over the 3rd Wear Tear. Wait, why is this? Hold on, why is this 61? Oh, right, that was the problem. That was the problem was that... sorry, I forgot. That was the problem with the 4 Mutagenic Growths. Was that it was 61 cards. Yeah, so you can cut the 4th Dragon or the 4th Breach. I think I'd probably rather cut the 4th Dragon. Yeah, you can play 3 Breach also. But I was really liking 4 Breach, so I think I'd want to stick with that for now. Sorry for making you wait, opponent. Let the sharks rain down upon you. Is a 2-mana trample guy not good? I don't know what you're talking about. What card are you talking about? Oh, the cast instant or sorcery. Yeah, I mean that card's worse than Sprite Dragon by a lot. Like the only reason to play that card is to be mono red, but like the blue splash is just the splashes are so free and so good. Because let me get this in the stream decker, and I'll post a link in chat. It would be what I currently recommend. Obviously, there are a few flex spots, but I've definitely been feeling so I guess you could play. So maybe it is like still 1 Grapeshot over like Mutagenic Growth number 4 with only 15 creatures, but Growth is also really good. I probably just want to play 4. It's also so good with the Breach plan. Ah, this really brings me back to the old days. Takes me back. What happened? We cast a Typhoon off a Hellraiser, and we hardcast another Typhoon. Changer specifically for Murktide and Sanctifier, something that red, 2 cards that red decks typically have a problem with. How much do I Pro Tour? I've been spending very little time playing RCQs or any qualifiers lately, but hopefully we'll do more soon. Okay, let's cut the Spell Snare. Snare are red and 6 deck, but that's like all it hits. They were playing Cavern. But having to Counterspell against the Teferi deck on the draw is nice. They want to cut the 4th copy of Bolt for sure. Probably trim the 4th Bauble. Yeah, I'm really hyped about this deck. And I think this version, like, is much smoother than our rough draft we had last week. Could play Wear Tear for Leyline. I think that they almost always play Endurance right over Leyline. It could be I could just be, wrecked if I'm wrong. Iceman, 19 months, thank you. Yeah, I still haven't bought Hellraisers in paper, but maybe I need to, huh? Thoughts on Elesh Norn and Ban Coco? I hope to cast Elesh Norn for the first time this week to get an opinion. Let's actually just Needle Ridden 6 so we can have Counterspell next turn. I hope to cast Elesh Norn at some point. I haven't cast Elesh Norn yet. Oh, Leyline Binding, I see. Yeah, I think that's probably a little narrow, but you could, yeah. Well, it kind of stinks that they had a good exchange with Prismatic Ending. This card is, like, pretty dead against us. Gonna answer, like, a Fable token or a Fable itself. Shark token. Playing Hellraiser, I've brought Wear Terror almost no matter what on game 2. Well, in this matchup, at least, like, I guess they could have Rest in Peace, but just being an Endurance deck, I usually think that they're more likely to just be playing Endurance instead. But I do think that the Wear Terrors are good additions to the sideboard here. Oh dang! I set the Prowess deck as the deck. I'll change it. You know, I could see pivoting to this for the RCQ this weekend. This would be a pretty fun deck to play in paper. I have like the Japanese Mystical Archive counterspells. That I haven't got to play with them yet. I don't think I've actually played Counterspell in paper since it's been legal. Kind of annoying. Let's go ahead and counter that. Well, so obviously I have Archmage's Charm. So like, what's really bad if they untap? Omnath and Teferi. Let's let it go. You play Control of Vegas? Oh right, I did. I did play that. Okay, I didn't play those counterspells, but I did play Counterspell at Vegas. I totally forgot. Chat knows me better than me. Did I play Yorion Control? Oh, dude, I did. I did also play Yorion in Chicago. I've probably played... No, I've definitely played Counterspell probably like 4 times in paper. I don't think I ever played Murktide in paper. I do have the deck. Am I a foreign card enjoyer? Not necessarily. I think on general, in average, no. But there's a couple foreign cards I like. So I really like foreign black border cards. For like the earlier sets where they're only available in black border if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars. And I like the art on like the Strixhaven Japanese cards, which are not available in English in paper. So I tend to like those as well. Because I was like totally looking at those counterspells. I'm like, man, I've never played Counterspell in paper. I haven't used those counterspells for sure. I got them not that long ago. I was like, man, I haven't played Counterspell in paper this whole time, but I literally have been. Yeah, I have four in black bordered Japanese bolts. Just gonna heat this, I think. PCG, the tier 1 for 6 months in advance. Let's go. Picks. I don't have picks. My collection also needs like a little bit more sorting. All my cards are in a closet over there. Gotta do some digging this week. Yeah, I actually bought the 4 black border bolts before they really spiked in price. Look at my top card, because I'm probably gonna jam iteration either way. Yeah. I'm gonna jam iteration either way here. So I don't know if this was like great to see. Okay. Do I want to hand another Hellraiser or Bauble? I think I'd hand another Hellraiser. I was hoping for a fetch land so that we could heat the endurance this turn. I guess we could dress down plus endurance, but we couldn't go like all in one go, or like on their main phase. We couldn't go like dress down and Omnath and then also endurance because we have to wait for this to go to the yard. Oh, I guess we can't do it. We can't do it at all. Never mind. Can't do it at all. Thoughts about Mind Stone and Weak Stone for Death and Taxes, Stoneforge 2 to target. Removal card package. What are we talking about? Might so do we? Isn't that like that's a 5 mana artifact, right? I don't think it's tutorable by Stoneforge. I think we're maybe getting trolled. I guess yeah. Let's just go ahead and cycle this stress down, and this does mean that like if they have like a Teferi, they can play it, but then we can heat it, and they're not going to play like any creatures into this. Yeah. Well, I guess I should be heating on my turn actually, so I'm not going to discard. Heat's so much better in this version than it is in the other version. Playing Heat in like a blue-red control deck feels really nice. When I was so I sold my whole Magic collection several years ago when I was broke, and the first thing I bought when I was rebuilding like 4 years ago was 4 Black Border Bolts and Snapcaster Mages. I'm cycling the Typhoon here because I'm going to be casting a Hellraiser, so I want to have the best chance of hitting a Typhoon hit this turn. Spike, how do you feel about triple red? What's wrong with a standard blue-red control build? Can you just play blue-red control without Hellraiser? Well, I mean, for the, like normal blue moon lists, blue-red control lists have been performing very poorly in Modern for like since MH2. Like, you know, they've seen like, you know, some fringe success in this time, but it has just not been a very competitive strategy this whole time. Dude, we're also 3 for 3 on Shark Typhoons today. Hellraiser, I think, is like a gigantic upgrade for this archetype, like the biggest upgrade we've seen in a long time. I think it fits really, really well. It gives you a lot of power level. Plays really nicely with Typhoon. I'm really into it, and you know, this is like a really common like dialogue tree that we have where people go like, well, Spike, what's wrong with like the stock version of this deck that's been doing poorly for like a year? And it's like, you know, the deck is like not doing very well because they're for, you know, one reason or another.
What's up? It's me, your friend, Aspiring Spike.
I'm not saying that we've necessarily broken it here, but we're trying to do some innovating here, right? We're trying to you know, see if this is a big enough power boost to this archetype. Because the normal blue-red control lists are just like pretty significantly worse than Murktide, and there's a good chance that this deck ends up being worse than Murktide as well. Nobody, this is a token here, so they can bounce the Typhoon. Thank you, PCG. There's a doorbell ring. It might be my father-in-law. No, it's not. Don't want to chump, so we can just kill the Teferi at the Shark, right? Could there be a Grixis version with Persist? Not like a control Grixis version, probably. Or at least I don't think that would be very good. I think that you can play. I did try to splash Terminate in this deck, and I didn't have much success with that. So yeah, I need to kill the Teferi before I Hellraiser, because Teferi does shut down Hellraiser. Boon of the Wishgiver. I like the suggestion. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's necessarily something you want to play in this show exactly. I have to think about it a bit more, but I do like love the suggestion. You know, one thing that's about Hellraiser is like you kind of want your cards to just like be good when you're not Hellraising, if possible. So I'm not sure that inclusion would exactly raise the power level of the deck. Is Magma's too flashy or clunky? I mean, it's both. I don't know. It's bad. It's bad. But I do like that Boon just cycles for 1 mana. It's not like a huge commitment. But it's not like it's also like not as good of like a graveyard enabler as like Consider or Thought Scour would be. So it's just kind of tough. Okay, glad that worked. Hope the last card isn't super relevant. Wow, it is super relevant. Okay, going down to 1, which is not... They have no cards in their hand. We have another Hellraiser for this turn. Just need to be careful. Okay, looks like I still have Delirium. So I think I want to heat the Omnath instead of the Fury, because I'm kind of scared of like fetchland into fetchland killing me. Then we're going to chump here this turn, most likely. So let's cast Consider. Maybe we find like another land that we can actually play. I can't play that one. Alright, pass back. Just not even going to play the Tarn. Oh yeah, maybe I should trade Hellraiser for Fury. That's probably fine. Yeah, I could also just down. We'll see what they play, right? My opponent's just, you know, definitely drawing all bangers. Could be correct to dress down here. I am still a little scared of fetchland of the fetchland, but probably unnecessarily so. Hex, 3 months, thank you. Okay, that's a good draw. So I like getting this Fable down. I can set up for the copy plan. My opponent might sit in with both. I could trade here, both the Fury. Hold on one second. Here's a delivery or something. Yeah, let's not just randomly die to Lightning Bolt by casting this Consider, I think. How many heats do I have? I still have 2 in the deck. They didn't play whatever their card was. Could be like a Solitude. Alright, let me attack with my Goblin. And I suppose I should have bolted before damage because of... Oh, right, I should have also cast Hellraiser before bolt from my hand. Oops. That's okay. We have enough cards. I guess we could spew a few of them, huh? Hellraiser is... I've just been so happy with the card so far. Awesome creep. Very cool. I'm assuming it's 8 rack. Okay. Could be dead if they have like a Counterspell or Veil as the last card. Okay. Scary. Kind of think their last card's Solitude, but hard to say for sure. I need to find a Counterspell. All that matters is finding more Counterspells here. So I think I'm gonna discard Typhoon, Scalding Tarn. In a general deck, I'm guessing just hitting draw spells of Hellraiser is generally good enough. Yeah. 3 mana, 4/4 flyer, draw 2, iteration considered. It's all pretty good. Yeah, we don't need to cast Hardcast Typhoon here, especially because we're about to start copying Hellraiser. We just need to find a Counterspell. I think that's all that matters. Heat Tarn seems better. I think I prefer keeping Heat over Typhoon. I could be wrong. Okay. Hand, bottom, exile. Because we just have lethal next turn, right? Love to see a irrelevant card on top also. Feels very good to be the blue-red deck outgrinding the 4-color deck, too. Thank you to Hellraiser. This token can't flip. This is not a token, but that's true. This cannot flip, right? That's interesting. All right, 2040. Although that first match itself, it just disappears. All right. I usually like to believe in the consider with these kind of hands. I should probably main phase this consider though, so if I find Bauble, I have an extra look at a land. Dude, we've hit. I think we're like we've hit Typhoon of Hellraiser 3 times so far in 2 matches. Ooh, Mountain could still land. Okay, we're up against Mill. Mill is our worst matchup, I think. Unlucky for the 2 league. Maybe not that unlucky because it's more popular, but you know, a bummer that in the 2 leagues we've played against Mill twice. But we do have an Emrakul this time. Thankfully, we have the Emrakul this time. Tyvar, Vannifar, Elesh Norn. Any potential? I think I would like basically never really seriously consider Elesh Norn in, or sorry, Tyvar. Sorry, the other card, Vannifar. I would never seriously consider, or at this point, I would not recommend seriously considering playing a deck whose goal is untapping with a 4-mana creature or giving a 4-mana creature haste, and then having like another creature in play. I think it is just not it. Do I cycle this Typhoon looking for land, or do I just heat the crab? Let's look for the land. I believe. Damn. Never believe, chat. Sideboard Breach for the Mill match. I think Emrakul is probably enough, right? Oh, they don't have a they don't have a land either. It's kind of funny. I think I need to hold up the counterspell here. Any bias in that comment, tutors? I wonder. That was definitely a draw this turn, right? Potato, 4 months, thank you. Or I guess not definitely. I have Archive Trap. I have 2 Typhoons in my yard though. Let's just cast a Hellraiser. One Archive Trap is fine. Okay, just one. Into you always have like exactly 20. You have exactly 20 cards in your library every single time they cast visions. Ugh, disgusting. I guess let's just go ahead and keep milling them. Play another Hellraiser with the counterspell up. Just try to get them dead as quick as possible. Dude, we have been casting a lot of Typhoons today. Oh, they drew another one. I'd fetch main phase to like diminish the chance that they draw it on their draw stuff, but they could just counter this. So this gives me 10 power. Only 1 bolt though. 26 cards in library. P 15 months. Supposed to link a chat. I'd be happy to take a look. Hopefully they shock and die to my bolts. Or maybe I draw another bolt. Yeah. Atrax's Vengeance, huh? I'm working on this archetype a little bit. Okay, they drown one of my tokens. It's probably fine. I don't think we're likely to kill them this turn anyways. Looking for a counter spell, I suppose. They mill me for 23. Maybe they can. I think this Elesh Norn is not something I'm very interested in. I think that the... Like, I don't hate it, but it seems like super win more. Like, I don't like it at all, actually. Especially with, like, only 21 lands. You're playing 2 copies. It's like, you're almost never going to be able to Goryo's Vengeance this, right? Yeah, you have no way. I really dislike these Elesh Norns. I just don't think they make much sense at all to me. It toshes me. Oh, I got a lot of Typhoons and stuff. I have 8 6-drops in my deck. Let's go. Winning game 1 against Mill and getting to like just slide this in here. That feels pretty good. That feels pretty dang good. Probably want all the 1-mana counter spells. They're probably gonna Surgical Typhoon. I mean, for Tasha's keeping this in is nice. I think I'm gonna go down like to consider 1 Bauble and play 62. Broadshield, 2 months to thank you. Yeah, you don't even need the Emrakul. Kaito is also like not playable in this deck. Like, it is not the best like looting enabler for you, and this card is like not good if you're not playing like a bunch of like cheap creatures to even like have the potential to draw cards with. I would play the 4th Shadow Prophecy before the first one of this anyways, or like the 3rd Mending too, if you want to play Mending. One direction I'm kind of interested in going in the shell is potentially with Priest of Fell Rites and Tyvar and Jace Friend's Prodigy, where Tyvar gives Jace haste, and Jace is good to Gorios, and Jace is a good looter. The problem is, like, I think you want like 1 more good thing to reanimate with Tyvar, and I'm not sure exactly what that is, but that's kind of a direction I've been thinking about going, and I might play that on stream. But I hate these Elesh Norns. I would play the 2nd Gristlebrand all day before this Elesh Norn. I want to play 1 more land, at least 1 more land. I want you to consider playing the 2nd Footsteps, 3rd Shadow Prophecy, no Elesh Norn, no Kaito, 3rd Faithful Mending. 1 more slot maybe. Keep this. Well, no removal for Crab. This Archmage's Charm is rough. Let's actually mulligan. Alright, keep on 5. What do you think of 1 Norn and Tyvar Priest Reanimator? Like, just like super incredibly win more, I think, in those kind of decks. Like, you just can't play 5 mana value cards that require other resources in your combo deck. You know what I mean? I do not recommend. Sideboard seems like maybe a little unfocused, but doesn't seem like a terrible first draft overall. Just got some loose thoughts. Kid, thank you for the 20 months. Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. All that. Yeah, we'll definitely play some new Elesh Norn stuff. I don't think that you want to play Elesh Norn in Lotus Field, though, right? Because, like, you know, it's... If you play Lotus Field with Elesh Norn and play, you have to sack 4 lands. Although, that probably won't happen that often. Actually, I have a Hellraiser Lotus Field deck built as the backup deck for Day. We'll see. How does Mill win through Emrakul? Tasha, Surgical. It's tough, though. But I will play Elesh Norn at some point. Got some, stuff to work on. Yeah, I can also draw it, but thankfully, like, I know it's at the bottom of my library right now. Yeah, that's just to draw 1, so that can resolve. Yeah, I think, like, the Aether Mage's Touch package is also something I'm still, like, interested in that archetype, by the way, but... It's nice to, like, I just have Emrakul in my deck, so these crabs aren't too scary. Yeah, I'm still interested in that package, but I'm not sure that I think Footsteps could end up being better. I'm not 100% sure. Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. One other tech card for the Throxta or Troxa, whatever that card's called. Goryo's deck is Not of This World. Not of This World is a tribal. It's and it can protect your Atraxa for 0 mana, and it's like a pretty... Dude, where are my lands? It's like a pretty good hit. off of Damn it! I guess I'm discarding Heat. Well, if they play Jace, nah, no. If they play Jace, I'm gonna want the Heat. I'll discard Charm. Yeah, they're all in the yard, huh? Does really need Footsteps Goria? Where you don't? Yeah, I mean you need some redundancy to Goria's Vengeance. You need Priest or Footsteps or Aether Mage's Touch. You need one of those, probably not all of those, right? Yeah, Traxa can grab tribal cards, even though it doesn't mention tribal on the card, which is so dumb because there's room. You know what I mean? Can't Flusterstorm that. Get to draw 3. It is nice knowing that the Emrakul is exactly on the bottom here. Game 3 also, maybe. Have I had a chance to run this against Burn? I haven't played this against Burn, I think. No, we did play against Burn once. We did win. Alright, maybe hopefully not too little too late. Think they're holding a black mana for extra play to get? Maybe. Can't spell this. Does not feel like we're in the scoop phase yet, y'all. Although we're pretty dead to Atasha's, right? Wait, they didn't play their land? Weird. So let's go upkeep. Kill two. Oh, well, I guess we're not going to get an upkeep, huh? I don't know if I think I think I can see that we have another island, right? We have 1, 2 in the yard. Okay, no. Damn it. Damn it. 1 in 4 chance Emrakul shuffles right now. Okay. Miss. And now we don't know that the Emrakul's at the bottom for sure. Okay, now this is good. Again, Flusterstorm is surgical also. Flusterstorm that. Dude, they have Ravenous Trap here? Jeez. They're like ready for this. Yeah, I don't hate it. It's just, you know, gross. I don't like that they're pausing here, though. I hate that they're pausing. Okay. At least it's not another Ravenous Trap. And we got a little bit of value from the Emrakul here, shuffling 55 cards back in. That's the most I've ever shuffled back with an Emrakul. Surgical target iteration? Iteration over a win condition? Deal. Deal. Only 2 cards left over there. Only shuffling in 51 now. Oh yeah, they should also. Wait, do they know I have 2 charms? They have Jace. Jace is so good. They know from surgical. Well, no, right? They only cast. Oh, they cast. Sorry, they I forgot about the surgical and Emrakul. Still only 2 lands in play. Still in this game. Yeah. Jace has milled 5 of these 6 mills have been lands. What a game. Surgical doesn't stop the Emrakul trigger. The trigger goes on the stack as soon as Emrakul hits the yard. We could game 3 on the play, I guess. We'll play this out as well, but it's looking pretty bad. They're shocking in Watery Grave here. $21 land Archmage Charm deck. People act like 21 lands. It's so silly. Like, people act like 21 lands is just like nothing at all. But it's like, but when a deck I mean, I'm up to 62 cards, so maybe that could be part of our issue. But it's like, we're playing 2 more lands than Murktide. Murktide also like really regularly plays like 3 drops. Murktide is like a 3-drop most of the time. You've played 4 Archmage's Charm and 19 land Murktide all the time. Like, it's so many, but we have 4 Consider and 4 Bauble and 4 Iteration and Fable the Mirror Breaker. I mean, that's also a 3-drop, I guess, but it's just like, I don't know. People act like it's just infinite lands, or no lands at all, rather. Yeah, Needle for Jace could be correct. If I had double bluff draws, usually if you're only 2 lands in your opening hand or double bluffs, you just like click the mulligan button, and it's okay. Needle for Jace, Field and Shell. Yeah, I think Needle probably should be coming in. I agree. Next time. I guess I could have fetched main phase because now I'm kind of opening myself up to them. Drawing Archive Trap. I guess I graveyard this so I can cast my Hellraiser this turn. Remember the last game? I like never drew my 3rd land, and they were able to surgical my Emrakul. Well, I did draw my 3rd land, and they fielded ruined it when I had no basics in my deck. Oh, if they mill over Emrakul here, it's kind of exciting. Or interesting, I don't know. They're gonna surgical my bolts, maybe? They surgical the heat? The heat? There's 3 bolts in the yard! Why? What is wrong with mill players, Chad? I don't know. What's wrong with mill players? And they shocked in the Watery Grave. I guess they have something else. I don't know. maybe they thought this was a bolt. I don't know. They must have something else that they shocked, right? Okay, now they're gonna surgical both of them. Both of them. But like the crab is like with the Emrakul in the deck, the crab isn't really that scary, right? And Jace is like, I guess Jace does plus on the Hellraiser pretty well, I suppose. Just graveyard it. Murder's Cut alongside Hellraiser. I mean, like in theory, those 2 cards are okay together, but it's just like, it's just not gonna be a big part of any deck's game plan, in my opinion. Those 2 cards together, it'll be a very small part. I think we're supposed to let that go because of the Emrakul in the deck. I could just be like way off about that. But I kind of want to like let the mill resolve and then like get got by, or sorry, rather like fight over the like surgicals and like the traps and stuff. Time to dust your Emrakuls off, chat. Time to dust your Emrakuls off. 3-0. Feeling great. Feeling great. But overall, like, it really is just not like a super interesting like conversation point in my mind, where it's just like it's just another one-mana counterspell, and it's just gonna be metagame dependent, and it's just not the right metagame for it, in my opinion. Okay, let's keep this. Put back both Typhoons. Is one a good Eldrazi set? We're playing if my goal is to tilt demonic tutors. It seems so. Although Tutor said that the Eldrazi was bad, actually, we shouldn't play it. So maybe he's right about that. I've seen Hammer playing Path. Should they play Ontanice instead? So what's nice about Path is, like, Path is better in the mirror for Hammer. Which is like, so like it kind of depends. Like, are you only bringing in Path for the mirror? Then like Path is better. I'm not really. I'm great with this. I'm not really a big. I need a blue source, I think. I'm not really a big believer in Path as Hammer Time against Murktide. Okay, rough mulligan. Maybe I should probably cut the mountain, but it's like I'm on a mold of 5, so I kind of need my cards to all be. No, not back-to-back mill. No, no. Fuck. Everybody add Emrakuls to your sideboard now. Ugh, so punished for bottoming the mountain. The reason, yeah, Emrakul because of Tasha's. It's like better to hit Tasha's. Okay, probably should have given them the info. It's okay. So bring in the needle this time. I guess they maybe cutting the snare. They don't have actually too many 2-drops. Be at 61. Could play 4. Let's play 4. Consider 62. Kneeling Jace mostly. We could also needle Field or Shelldock. They play 4 of the new Jace. And that card's really good. No, Hellraiser's nuts against them. You don't want to cut Hellraiser against the decks that's milling you. No, I don't think so. Doesn't consider technically help your opponent. I think with Emrakul in the deck it matters a lot less, but not. You don't always graveyard the card either. But it's like I think like we go up to 62 cards, and then like I think consider gives us more consistency than being at 61. What is the reason to ever not pad out the deck with all your baubles? Okay, so this is like very, very much like I think early deck builder mentality. Bauble is a 0-mana cantrip. You get to have your deck be 59 cards. You hear this all the time. Oh, my opponent's also 61. You hear this kind of rhetoric all the time amongst newer Magic players, in my experience. This idea that just play 4 Bauble in every deck. It's a 0-mana cantrip. But Mishra's Bauble is a bad top deck in decks that are playing primarily at sorcery speed. Mishra's Bauble is a card that I just fetched main phase because of trap. Mishra's Bauble is a card that really hinders your mulligan decisions. If you have multiple Mishra's Baubles in your opening hand, you don't know if you should mulligan your hand or not. Or you're going to be keeping a really high variance hand for little upside. So we're playing against Spell, go to 64 cards with your Baubles. Oh, I mean, you just have to keep like a reasonable ratio of lands. You just have to keep a reasonable ratio of lands here. So threat. I'm gonna graveyard it. Yeah, no, that's a real threat. Yeah, I guess that was. I do get that question a lot, so that's kind of my prepared answer, but not exactly for what you were asking, huh? Okay, so they milled over my second Steam event, so I do still have a Sacred Foundry. Have I made a deck guide? No, I mean, this is only the second league I've played with this deck on stream. I did a few different matches last night, did a little bit of last night, but I'll be working on one this week or next week. Does Emrakul not do anymore because of that card Tasha's? I mean, it's not like just a free win the game every single time anymore, but it's like still like it like gives you a million percentage points. This is a risky Hellraiser. What's risky about it? I'm not sure how bad this extra paid is for me. Low hit rate into black mana. Well, so the thing about like Hellraiser is they can't respond to what you target with Hellraiser. It's random. They have to respond to the cast. So we're gonna get something. We're gonna get something like basically every time. And then we have a, you know, big flyer in play pressuring my opponent too. I guess I'm casting that, huh? Kind of bad into Spell Pierce, but it seems like the correct line. Also, if they're using, again, if they're using Surgical also on, like, my Typhoons here, then they're not using them on Emrakul necessarily. Still have 2 basics in the deck. Have I played enough games in the deck to know what the bad matchups are? No, not really. It's still pretty early, but we've been winning, at least. The deck's been feeling good. For whatever that's worth. I don't have too many things. Our graveyard is mostly lands, so I don't know if I'm casting Hellraiser this turn. I mean, I think just casting Hellraiser, though, and like just having another big flyer in play with Archmage's Charm up is probably the best line. Hellraiser is pretty good in this matchup, for what it's worth. Even though the whole matchup is pretty scary. Okay, bricked. That's fine. No, you can't play lands. It's only non-creature spells. We're excelling our yard for cards like Jason, Visions, and Beyond, though. It's just funny. Surgical Flooded Strand. Okay, they're just gonna... They didn't look at the deck the first time, I think. I think they didn't look at the deck the first time, so they're looking at it now. Alright, I'm gonna click submit and get some coffee. Be right back.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. 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 What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend
What's up?
Aspiring
It's
Spike.
me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What do you think is the most fun deck I've played recently? Good question. This Kadathri Rebirth deck was really fun yesterday. It's pretty cheap too. We did trophy with it. We did a lot of did some dropping too. Missing their land drop? Okay. Getting archive trapped. Not getting archive trapped. Cool. Yeah, I would say that one's probably the one that comes to mind. I also really like the wall deck that's in the Stream Decker was really sick. And then Anviltron is always a favorite of mine as well. My favorite card? From one. The card I like the most is Well, the card I like the most is the 3 mana artifact that taps for a color of mana, and then if they have 3 poison counters, it makes them lose a life. I think the art on that card is awesome. I think the design is really like just like clean and cool. It's not, you know, not a modern playable card, but my favorite one. I like Hellraiser a lot too. Hellraiser's, you know, up there, but typically my favorite card in a set is like, you know, just some like random common like that just speaks to me somehow. Like Jade Avenger. I like to force the 4 Fables. You could play, like, you could go down 2 Charm for 2 Fable if you wanted. I think I like more Charms, because Charms are so nice with Hellraiser. But I'm just, you know, of course, the classic Archmage's Charm apologist. Go, Shark, go. Sing the name of the next card drawn. Okay, I'll do the next one. Wise Mill. The new Jace is really good in Mill. The new Jace is really good in Mill. Let's go to discard. Alright, I'm going to sing whatever I draw off Consider. Consider this! Consider me a spy. I don't know. I feel like there's a song like that. Esther might know. Well, consider Ben Scalding Tarn. Consider Ben Scalding Tarn. It's funny. Consider the following. Yeah. Is it time for every deck to have Emrakul on the side? Yes. Drive these mill players out of their homes. Raise their farmland to the ground. Play Emrakul on your sideboard. Leave them devastated for generations to come. Let's counter that because of the whole Emrakul plan. You feel like maybe drawing a crab opponent? Guess they drew 1. You need to counter this because they can hit Emrakul off of it. Just all about our big... Hardcast. When we played against Mill, this is the second match in a row against Mill. And last week it was our first match, so when we played this deck, I'm like, this is the Nightmare matchup. And now, with 1 sideboard card, that Nightmare matchup has gone to a pretty reasonable one. Okay, we'll let this go, because they're dead, I think. I guess it's only a 5/5, but I have the bolts. RDK with the 3 gifted subs. If that's for deck tech, you can post your link in the chat. Emrakul and Prowess. You should maybe have an Emrakul in the Prowess deck. It's a bit different. I don't think that matchup is terrible. But Tosh is maybe scary enough to play the Emrakul. Oh fuck, I could die to like 3 Archive Traps. For no reason here. Fuck no! Wait, I have Emrakul. Never mind. It's fine, actually. It's fine, actually. But if I had drawn Emrakul off Shark Typhoon, I was dead there. The RDK. Monkey. Damn it. Red Source? Awesome. This matchup definitely gets a lot better post-board with the change the rocks. Game 1, probably a little unfavored. I love this list. I love it. How many lands are you playing? 12, 18. But with the Village Rights Witness, it's probably okay. But yeah, 8 months ago, thank you. Tank, 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 tank. Let it go. Yeah, I'm not sure this is a great bombardment deck without Bloodghast, without, oh, you should maybe be playing Bloodghast, though. Like, Bloodghast might be better than Dathi Voidwalker. Maybe not. I'm not sure. It's like really good with Village Rights and Seasoned Pyromancer, but you would also probably have to add the bombardment, so maybe that is too many moving pieces. Okay, this is your pack card. I figured, yeah. I kind of want to play a third, I think with the Heat, actually, I'm just going to go steal this. I think I want to play a third Unearth somewhere in the 75. So, like, I think you can play third Unearth over, like, fourth Claim the Firstborn pretty easy. Maybe even, like, 4 Unearth, 2 Claim. I'm not sure how good Claim is. This looks sick, honestly. I really like it. You need to play, oh, I guess Path of Peril is really awkward in your list. You should maybe splash white for like an answer to Sanctifier. I don't know. Sanctifier is going to be your biggest problem. So they can put a insert a sorcery in the yard with this Consider into 7/7 Murktide. That'll be a big problem. But if we can heat the Murktide, it won't be that big a problem. Yeah, probably play an Emrakul for mill right now. Kind of narrow. I mean, you have what I hate about this list is like you have 2 explosives, 4 fatal push, 3 shattering spree. Like these are like 6, 9 cards that are coming in against Hammer, but because they have like 3 or 4 sanctifiers, like you're still like really unfavored against them. So like you should either like hedge less for those kind of matchups and just like die to Hammer. Just die to Hammer, or like splash white for the like white sideboard cards is my opinion. But this looks sick. I don't have very many notes because like I like it a lot. I like it a lot. This looks like super fun. Beautiful list. Yeah, I can pull up my the latest Red Black Sack list I've been playing. It's been a little while. It's not completely, so I'm kind of stuck on the sideboard a little bit, but in this deck I think Path of Peril is like pretty fine to play. So I've been playing 4 of those for the Hammer Time matchup, and then I guess I'd be playing like an Emrakul, and like I don't know exactly what the other 2 sideboard cards would be. But I'm considering playing this in the I'm also like still kind of stuck on like this split, like do I want to cut like the 3rd Feign Death for 1 intent, or want to play 0 intent? I think 1 intent is maybe good as like the 5th bombardment, but maybe just the 1 mana cards are better. So a little stuck there, I guess. 7/7 Murktide, big sad, obviously. Very good draw for my opponent, and they're on the play, of course, and they're favored as well, I think. So we get Iteration, so our Heat is online at least. We can go hand, bottom, exile. I think I'll just heat this now so they can't counter. And I do have the Otawara in my hand, so we have like a little bit of a plan, I suppose. Enable deck 30 Mayhem Devils, current consideration seems an actual inclusion. Yeah, it's a curved consideration. I would also play Disciple of the Vault over Mayhem Devil because it's like kind of like a 1 mana Mayhem Devil. Obviously less powerful, but 1 mana instead of 3 is huge. Yeah, I don't think you can. Cracked Earth might be better than Claim the Firstborn, but Path of Peril is better than that Black Red Saga. Yes, it kills Sanctifier, in fact. That is like the main thing I want this card to do. And it's like, what's nice about this card and like what's so unique about it is that not only does it answer Sanctifier, it's like good against Hammer, and it's like really good against Hammer while also answering any number of Sanctifiers in play. And also like killing your own Bloodghast is not that big of a problem. Killing a Lucky Witness is not that big a problem. You board out Ragavans a lot of the time against Hammer with this deck. It's bad. Yeah, I would add an Emrakul to the red black list. I would probably play like third. Right now, I'd probably play like fourth. Actually, it's maybe just even kind of simple. It might just actually be like really clean sideboard right now of 4 Magus over Blood Moon because of how popular Titan is. 1 Emrakul, 3 Orvar. Because you're pretty comfortable with like just not sideboarding in a lot of matchups too, of course. And then there's like some stuff in the main deck, but I might play this at the. I mean, I haven't played the deck in a while, but I've been wanting to play this in paper. I have an RCQ this weekend. I think this deck's great. Your bombardment deck, you're already good versus Hammer. I mean, I just don't think any red-black deck is good against Hammer post board. Like any scam deck, I don't think is good against Hammer post board. Sanctifier is like not only is like Sanctifier like just pro black and pro red, it's just like it hoses every single card in the deck. It hoses Witness, Bloodghast, Spyro, or not Spyro so much, but Fury, Grief, all of these cards, the Kroxa. It just wrecks you. And like sometimes you can Bombardment Mayhem Devil them out, but not very often. So, but I do think game 1 is not bad against Hammer because you're a Fury Bombardment deck. But Bombardment can also be like a little slow. It's not always online. Dude, they could just hardcast a Hellraiser here. Yeah, Orvar is just for creativity, but creativity is pretty popular. The red black mid range is not so bad against Hammer. This is I think true to some extent, but like this version is much worse without the paths. But I think with 4 Path of Peril on the sideboard, Hammer becomes a matchup you're not too concerned about. And so like what's cool about this deck is like I like my Hammer time matchup for the most part, or like it's, you know, not too bad. And then like the Titan matchup is not too bad either because you're a Grief deck with a fast clock with Magus in the sideboard. Titan, I think the Murktide matchup is pretty favorable. The Yawgmoth matchup is pretty good because you're a Fury deck. So it's just there's just like a lot matchup wise to really like about this show. Wait, how did they brick? They didn't cast Iteration? They did. What am I missing? I'm not sure. Gonna be a tough game to win though. Gonna be a really tough game to win. So I have to like Iteration into red fetch for Mountain. Okay, I guess this works too. So hand, bottom, exile. Them hitting a Hellraiser here is kind of annoying, but they're going to be able to play their Murktide anyways, I suppose. So we need to Hellraiser hit, ideally Heat to kill their Hellraiser while keeping Delirium, but just finding hitting Archmage's Charm or Lightning Bolt would also keep us alive. But we're dead to Bolt at any point. Okay, yeah, so we need to go Charm, Steal. Just Steal Rag and Hellraiser doesn't work. I had to bounce the Murktide, I thought. I thought I was dead if I didn't bounce Murktide. I don't know if that was me, that wasn't a serious comment. Otawara? Yeah, okay. Game 2. Matchup definitely gets way better in post-board games with the Chain to the Rocks here. I might want Needle for Hearse and stuff. I think that's probably fine. And some number of these 1-mana counterspells too. I wasn't 100% sure on my sideboard plan going into today, honestly. So like one thing is like I think that I'm cutting all the baubles since Delirium is like much less important. But maybe you need some number. Maybe you need some number. Maybe you need to do something like trim a Consider. Maybe Fable's bad. I think Fable's kind of bad against Murktide, actually. So maybe we're like 3 of these. 4 chain. Could maybe trim a heat and play 1 needle. Since now we have what is this, 10 1-mana removal spells? That's a really good number, actually. Yeah, maybe because we're cutting the baubles, just like going down to 9 1-mana removal spells is fine. Could even play just like all the spell pierces. Yeah, I like this. Emrakul is for the most common matchup in the format, mill. Why not heat the dragon and charm the monkey that turn? I think, didn't I need to cast the iteration? No, maybe you're right, maybe you're right. Could have been better. Notably key in paper game. Elishtor is immune to Chain the Rocks. Don't you prefer Path to Exile? Is that notably key in the metagame? Thank you, Sess, for the raid. Hope you're doing well. Is that notably key, or is like Elishnorn like a relatively super obscure paper card that is still like, you know, can get countered if you have to answer it sometimes? That is easily not a good enough reason for me to play Path to Exile, especially when I mostly want it for Hammertide, Murktide. You're just trolling. I see. Sorry, I just got so many Path to Exile comments. Alright, Eternal Monkey again. We don't have any of our 1-mana removal in our opening hand, unfortunately. We may have to take a hit. Yeah, sad not to have Path here, huh? Down to Spell Pierce this. I'm going to be probably playing Typhoon on 1 here. They also, like, kind of looks like they're missing a land if they're casting Consider now. Okay, they're not. I am just going to get another island here because of Blood Moon. A little teensy tiny bit flooded, but good at 2 for 1. Okay, deck for 4 dogs. Dreadnought Gardens, cool. Still registering Eater of Days, huh? Elflord, 11 months, thank you. A lot going on. Kind of hard to wrap my mind around it. With me not having played Legacy in a while. Well, I got all iterations. I feel like this one's not super likely to resolve. Okay, it does resolve, which is nice. Hands, bottom, exile. I have so many removal spells in the deck. I finally found one. I don't think they have a counterspell here because I think they likely would have countered the iteration there, but I'm gonna just upkeep anyways. They could have a Sacred Ragavan, but if they dash Ragavan, it's not the end of the world. Deck looks sick is kind of my first note. I think Eater of Days is like definitely a cut, but I know that's like your pet card. So I know this is your pet card, but I feel like it's like the easiest cut ever. Especially because you have like 4 Saga to find you your 4 Dreadnoughts, so you have like redundancy there. I don't know. Wait for upkeep, get around Force. My opponent has enough mana to cast Counterspell or Spell Pierce, so if they're gonna do that, I want them to spend mana on their turn instead of my turn. They do have the second Ragavan. Would it worth playing the Spire Bluff first? Spire Bluff first. I don't have a Spire Bluff in my deck. Talking about Cascade Bluffs. I mean, yeah, you could have gone filter into blue-red there. The thing is, if you miss, like playing Steven's Tapped is kind of nice. Let's consider here, because I'd really like to find like another 1-mana interactive spell if possible. So like, because I think I'm gonna steal this channeler. Oh, Cascade Bluffs, I see. Yeah, you could have done that. That might have been better. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like Karn might be better than Eater of Days, but you could play Eater of Days as a Karn target, maybe. That seems sick. Don't have too many notes since I don't, play Legacy anymore, but looks awesome. Okay, let's steal in response to the Connive. They didn't have a counterspell earlier. Hopefully they still haven't found one. New Wandering Pioneer. Isn't that like a 6-mana Planeswalker? I don't know. It doesn't seem like probably good enough. Bolt's me? Oh, Bolt's the Channeler, sure. Let's making us work for it. We do have 2 iterations in our hand. If not that to a Bolt. Oh no, they had a Typhoon. They had Fury in their deck post-board? Weird. Iteration again. Looking for Heat or change the rocks for the Shredder. So I guess I'm double bolting. Hopefully their hand is Ragavan Mystery card. Hopefully they don't have a bolt in their hand, but we're dead to it no matter what. Hopefully I only have 2 bolts left in my deck, so maybe they won't flip one here. We'll see. Don't like being dead to a bolt the rest of this game though. They've already used 2 also. Alright, 4-1, obviously not bad. First thing of the day. Let's run it back. I do think that Murktide is definitely a matchup to be concerned about, and it's also like the deck you're competing with when you play this blue-red deck. Definitely feel like our draws lined up kind of like particularly poorly against them both times too. Morning, Clyde.